Hello, AP students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have notes for Chapter 10, Personality, and we're going to talk a little bit about what theories do people use to understand each other. And so as we begin, make sure you have your packet and follow along. So the implicit personality theory, this is an assumption about personality that are held by people, especially non-psychologists, to simplify the task of understanding others. Implicit theories of personality operate largely outside of our own awareness. We rely on naive assumptions about traits. For example, people who assume certain clusters of traits together, so like creativity or emotional stability. And that kind of leads us to what is known as the fundamental attribution error. This is an assumption that another person's behavior, especially if they're clumsy or inappropriate or otherwise undesirable behaviors, is a result of a flaw in their personality rather than the situation. Personality across cultures. It's not surprising that all formal theories of personality have been created by people trained in the framework of the Western social sciences, and they have kind of a built-in bias towards individualism. Most non-Western perspectives have originated in religion, and so we can talk about the Hindus, who see personality as a union of opposing characteristics, or the Chinese, who have a concept of complementary opposing forces, hence the yin and the yang. When we talk about individual and collectivism and personality, again, according to Harry Tranides, the cultures differ most fundamentally on the dimension of individualism versus collectivism. So, in collective cultures, people tend to form identities that blend harmoniously with the group, and they expect that others are motivated to do the same. So for Asians and Africans, the group is the natural unit, and the individual is incomplete without the group. In individualistic cultures, people tend to form unique identities and assume that others are similarly motivated to stand out from the crowd. So, for example, Euro Americans as a group, this is composed of several individuals, and when they work together, they become a team. A couple other topics related to individualism versus collectivism and the personalities have received special attention across when we talk about the cross-cultural perspective of psychology, competition versus cooperation, and the need for achievement. Other cultural differences on other personality-related dimensions, status of different age groups and sexes. The status of the elderly is a little higher in Asian cultures than it is in the United States. Romantic love, the assumption that romantic love should be the basis for marriage, is historically kind of a European invention. Stoicism. Asian cultures teach people to suppress the expression of intense feelings, while in Euro-American cultures, people are more likely to express strong emotions. Locus of control. Persons in industrial nations more often have an internal locus of control than those in developing countries. Thinking versus feeling. Many cultures do not have strong distinctions between thoughts and emotions that Americans do. Heinz Einzig, who you see pictured here, he had a theory of neuroticism. This is susceptibility to neurotic problems. These are things that cause anxiety, stress, such. Extroversion, the personality descriptor indicating an outgoing nature for some individuals. And introversion, again, a descriptor that's indicating a quiet or reserved nature for some individuals. And finally, psychology in our life, developing our own theory. Most psychologists have kind of become eclectic in the sense that they look at multiple perspectives of personality rather than relying on one, and they kind of borrow from different perspectives to kind of get us a whole picture of what the individual is. Thank you very much.